Hi, I want to give an update on some recent shootings we've had and that resulted in 2 people dying. And the reason why I want to do an update is that I don't want our community to think that we've got people out here just randomly shooting people, that we don't have that. All these shootings have a couple similarities in that we've got crimes that are being committed, and as a result of those crimes that these people are involved in, shootings happen. And that's what we're seeing. That trend was going on last year in 2020, and it's continuing in 2021 with people that are involved in criminal activity end up in shootouts, and we get people shot, and we get people that are killed. It's just baffling me that we're having so many shootings and that so many people are just having total disregard for life whatsoever and using guns. And I've said it many times standing up here that a gun's going to get you 1 or 2 places, in prison or in the cemetery. And unfortunately, that's what we're continuing to see is people who are out here with guns who end up shot, dead, or in prison. The most recent one we had was on Sunday, this past Sunday, February 8th, where Christopher Brown was found shot in his car up in the Broad River Road area. Christopher Brown was involved in an armed robbery. Our investigation is looking like he was involved in trying to rob someone. That someone, the victim that he tried to rob, was doing what we asked people to do, and that's not leave a weapon in the car. This person was getting out of his vehicle and was taking his gun out of the car when Christopher Brown, we believe, attempted to rob him. There were shots exchanged. Christopher Brown was shot, got in his car, and then later found him in his vehicle when he was dead. He has a very lengthy record. In 2006, when we arrested him for 3 counts of armed robbery, assault with intent to kill, he served 10 years. He's currently out on bond now for domestic violence, high and aggravated nature. I'm telling you that he's been involved in criminal activity, but he's still dead. We still have his family out here that have lost a loved one. So as I go through these, I don't want anybody to think that I'm minimizing someone's life, even though they were involved in criminal activity. The families didn't make that choice. The families are the ones that suffer now because someone's been lost. So even though Christopher Brown is a criminal, and we believe was involved in a robbery at the time that he was shot, he still has loved ones that are feeling the pain of him being killed. Next one we have happened on February the 4th. 19-year-old Rainisha Nixon was found shot in her vehicle on Charleswood Drive. She had her 4-week-old baby that was in the vehicle with her. She had another 8-year-old male that was with her. She also had a 16-year-old male that was with her. There was criminal activity that was occurring as a result of what was going on. Shots were fired into her in the vehicle. She was hit and then drove a little bit and wrecked. We've identified someone that we're looking for in that case. We have not made an arrest in that case. The 16-year-old juvenile that was with her has been charged with obstruction of justice for lying to us. One of the disturbing parts of this case, in addition to a 19-year-old mother being killed, is that the weapon that fired the fatal shot into her was the same gun that was used back on January the 7th in Hopkins, completely on the other side of the county. It was used in January the 7th, the murder of a 16-year-old Ryan Knight. We've made 2 arrests in that case. A 16-year-old Taiwan Martin was charged with the murder, and then a 17-year-old juvenile was charged with attempted armed robbery in that case. That one gun now has killed 2 people. We don't have that gun. That gun is still on the street. Again, this just demonstrates how these guns are being passed around and how these guns are continuously being used in criminal acts. The third one to talk about happened on January 29th. Octavia Johnson was shot at the Rose Nails on St. Andrews Road. She was in a verbal argument with another lady that escalated into an armed confrontation. A male that was with that lady entered the argument, and he shot her. We've identified the female that Ms. Johnson was arguing with, and we're working to identify the male. Ms. Johnson also had a gun in that incident. Again, what we're seeing is guns, young people, criminal activity going on, drug deals, gun deals that are really not what they're initially supposed to be. They end up being robberies and people are getting shot. But these are not random shootings. So I don't want the community to think that we've got people just riding down the road and someone's shooting into a car and hitting them. That's not the case on any of these shootings that we've had. Again, our prayers go out to the families of all these victims that's been shot. You know, the families didn't make that choice. The people that are involved has made some bad choices that's resulted. We're going to solve all these cases. We're already on top of them. It's just a matter of time for people to get arrested again. That just shows that two places. You got a gun, you're going to go cemetery or prison. Questions?
You mentioned criminal activity in the Ray Nation-Nixon shooting. What sort of criminal activity was involved there?
Not going to go into that right now. It's just that there was criminal activity that was going on, and as a result of that, some shots were fired and she got hit.
Do you have any information for the people that you're still looking for, that people should look out for? Are you releasing information?
No, our investigators are close enough to making arrests in these cases that I'm not going to say we don't need the public's help, but we're not going to put any pictures out of anybody right now. We're close enough to make an arrest, getting them identified and making an arrest. We're right there. We're right there on that, on all these cases.
I'm sure it's concern since you now revealed that one gun was involved in two of these incidents.
Yeah, that was kind of a shock to us when we compared the ballistics on what we found at the crime scene from the murder in Hopkins, and then the one way in northeast Columbia. It's the same gun fired bullets that were responsible for two people being dead, and that gun's still out on the street.
And was the January 7th incident determined to be gang-related?
No, I don't think any of these things are gang-related as far as directly saying they were shot because they were in a gang. They were involved in criminal activity, and that criminal activity involved guns and drugs and robbery. And as a result of that, we got people dead and we got people going to jail.
I mean, besides the ballistics and some of the other things you mentioned, do you think that these crimes are connected as far as the victims are involved?
No, and that's kind of shocking to us, is that the murder in Hopkins has absolutely nothing to do that we've been able to find with the murder that happened in northeast Columbia. The only common denominator is the guns. It's not the people. We haven't found any connections whatsoever tying that murder to this murder. It just happened to be the same gun. That just shows that guns are being sold and traded throughout our county, and it just goes from one bad guy to another bad guy. All right, thank y'all.